Las Vegas 87. Vitor Petrino is walking to the octagon right now, 10-0. 8 of his 10 wins coming as a finish. 7 of them are knockouts. Petrino to win by KO is plus 140. That's a good bet. If you can get Petrino plus 140 to win by finish, I can get behind that for sure. Absolutely, I can get behind that juice. Tyson Pedro is a plus 295 dog. I think he's a live dog. You know, if he got a KO in this fight, I wouldn't be completely surprised. These guys are going to come out throwing heat for sure. I don't think this fight goes the distance. I think that is the bet to make, that this fight finishes within distance. Probably make some cash on that bet. I'm not sure what the odds on that are, but they got to be pretty good for this fight. Tyson Pedro, he's looked pretty good too. Granted, against not so good competition, you know, but all right, we got Vitor Petrino 10-0, minus 375. 26 years old, 6'2", 205, 77.5-inch reach. On the opposite side, we got the 32-year-old Tyson Pedro, 10-4, plus 295 juice, 6'3", 205.5, 79-inch reach. All right, everybody, it is fight time. Joe Martinez is introducing these fighters. We got our main events for UFC Las Vegas 87 in the Apex. You know me, I'm not a big Apex guy. If it was up to me, I would not have any fights in the Apex. They're so boring. There's no fans. I mean, come on, guys. Come on. Come on, Dana White. Can we get some fans in the Apex? This fight could be over real fast, man. That under 2 rounds, I wonder what that juice is. That's got to be pretty solid, too. Under 2 rounds, under 1 round. I think these guys, God, Petrino is a specimen, dude. Oh, my gosh. What the hell are they putting in the juice in Brazil? Because this dude is a straight monster. Yikes. I think Tyson Pedro's about to get smoked. But like I said, guys, this card has not been good. It's been super boring. The last 2 fights were a complete snooze fest. The first fight was pretty decent, but Matt Schnell is absolute garbage, and he got KO'd in the first round. Urseg landed a solid left hook to the jaw and put Schnell's lights out. And then the Umar fight was super boring, and then the last fight was even more boring. Makayev versus Perez. Super boring. All right, the fight is underway. Petrino versus Pedro. I think the winner of this fight could see a number next to their name break into the rankings in the top 15. All right, the big feeling out process in the first 30 seconds. Big head kick whiff by Petrino. Pedro looks nice and relaxed, though. He's not forcing anything. Petrino's legs are so big. Jesus, mother of God. He throws so hard. It's scary. Petrino, he could be a top 10 guy in this light heavyweight division. As everyone knows, the light heavyweight division isn't the most competitive division in the UFC. Guys fight until they're way older. There hasn't been a superstar coming in the light heavyweight division in quite some time that has kind of worked their way up the ranks. Alex Pereira and Jamal Hill are fighting for the belt at UFC 300, the main event. But I like Petrino to potentially be the superstar in the light heavyweight division that the UFC needs. But we'll see if he can get past Tyson Pedro, who's no slouch. Pedro's a beast, man. Not much happening in the first 2 minutes of this first round. I think both of these fighters respect each other's power. They're kind of exchanging leg kicks a little bit. Ooh, big shot to the body by Petrino. A lot of feints, a lot of sticking and moving. Trying to throw that jab out there as a feeler. No one's really committed to a big shot quite yet. Nice leg kick by Pedro. Two minutes gone in the first round. Nice stiff jab by Petrino lands on Pedro's chin. Ooh, man. Petrino throws some heat, guys. Petrino is throwing missiles. He kind of has Pedro on the back foot a little bit. Pedro is definitely a little hesitant to engage with Petrino, who's an absolute monster. Pedro does have Petrino biting on some of these feints. Big head kick missed by Petrino. Doesn't look like anyone's going to take this fight to the mat. No one has even attempted to even look at a takedown right now. Nice leg kick by Pedro. He's landed a couple nice calf kicks so far. Nice jab by Petrino. 3 minutes down, 2 minutes left in the first round. Still a pretty, even fight so far. Nothing really happening as of yet. Nice body kick. Another big head kick by Petrino. He's really trying to land that head kick. I think he sees something in Pedro that makes him think he's susceptible to the high kick. 90 seconds left in the first round. This round is anybody's round. Anybody can steal this round with a couple flurries, maybe a takedown. I don't think any... Ooh. Another big leg kick by Pedro. But it's been a pretty pedestrian first round. 60 seconds left. Nice jab by Petrino. He has so much power, man. Even the jab hurts people. He's just such a big dude. God, his legs are so massive, man. It's crazy. These guys are both pretty big for the weight class. I could see both of these guys fighting at heavyweight at some point in their career. 45 seconds left in the first round. Petrino seems to be getting the better of these exchanges. But it's been pretty low level for a co-main event so far. Tyson Pedro looks really, really hesitant to engage. Kind of seeing just how powerful Petrino is just by the jabs that are landing. Nice body kick by Pedro. And we got 15 seconds left in the first round. It's going to be a really tough first round. The score could be one for anyone. Pedro landed the better leg kicks. Petrino had a little more success with the jab. That's the end of round one for the co-main event of UFC 87 Las Vegas in the Apex. Let me know in the comments below. Do you guys like the Apex? For me, the Apex sucks, dude. There's nobody in the crowd. Super boring. I don't know. We are at the end of round one. This card has been everything I thought it would be. Super boring. I'm trying my hardest not to fall asleep while I'm watching this card. It's been absolute trash. And for all those people hating on my videos, just saying that this card was going to be so good and blah, blah, blah. Like, the amount of mismatches on this card, you saw that by some of the knockouts. Like, guys that shouldn't be fighting these other guys are in the octagon with them. Umar should have never been fighting that dude. Umar just dominated. He was so easily able to pass from half guard to full mount. It's like amateur stuff, man. When you're, what, minus 1,600? Like, you can't put on cards with guys that are minus 1,600. Nobody on the main card, except the main event, is below minus 300. I mean, the odds are just crazy. Super heavy favorites. I'm looking forward to UFC 299 next week. I'm going to put out a ton of content for UFC 299. Let me know in the comments below, who do you like in UFC 299? You think Sean O'Malley gets it done versus Cheeto Vera? Then we got Gilbert Burns versus Jack Della Maddalena. That should be a really fun fight. Peter Yan versus Song Yadong, another really good fight. And then we have Kevin Holland versus Michael Venom Page. And then we have in the co-main event, Benoit Saint Denis versus Dustin Poirier. Poirier was on TMZ talking about this is his 30th fight. He's 35 years old. Maybe a potential retirement for Dustin Poirier if he loses to Benoit Saint Denis. But I think Poirier is going to get it done, man. He got caught with that head kick by Justin Gaethje. He never thought Gaethje was going to throw a head kick. I don't think he planned for Gaethje throwing head kicks. And Gaethje saw that opening and bang, blasted him with the head kick, and that's all she wrote. And Justin Gaethje is going to be taking on Max Holloway at UFC 300. That's another barn burner of a card, guys. That should be a lot of fun. UFC 300 is stacked. That Max Holloway fight is going to be super sick. Petrino's in on a single leg, forcing Pedro up against the fence. They're kind of stalling out right now. The ref needs to jump in. What's the ref doing? They're just watching them sit around and do nothing. Finally, he gets in there, claps his hands, because this fight somehow is more boring than the last fight. And that is a flyweight fight. Makaya versus Perez. Oh, God, that was a snooze fest and a half. We're 2 minutes into the second round. Victor Petrino versus Tyson Pedro. I guess Petrino won the first round. Barely, I guess. But this fight's they've been locked in the clinch pretty much the whole second round. Nothing too exciting. We're halfway through the second round. And this is another round that's pretty much a draw. But I'm really excited for UFC 299. We got Sean O'Malley versus Chito Vera. I think Sean O'Malley takes that fight. I rewatched the first fight, and Sean O'Malley was really piecing him up with those leg kicks and body kicks. He was tearing up Chito's legs, man. Tearing up Chito's legs. Bad. Nice leg kick by Tyson Pedro. But yeah, this fight got boring real fast. Real fast. All right, then next we have Dustin Poirier versus Benoit Saint Denis for the co-main event for UFC 299. I'm talking about UFC 299 because this Petrino-Pedro fight has been super boring. 2 minutes left in the second round, and I have no idea who's winning this fight. Nobody has really taken control of this fight or landed one significant shot at all. There's nothing really happening. It's 90 seconds left in the first round. It's been a pretty pedestrian, pretty boring fight. I thought this fight they were going to come out guns blazing, but it's been the complete opposite of that. Him trying to feel each other out a little bit, kind of lazy punches. Pedro's had some success with the leg kick, and Petrino's had some leg kick. And then Petrino just missed a huge leg kick. He's been throwing a big, roundhouse right head kick that just keeps sailing over Tyson Pedro's head. He hasn't really come close to landing it. He's got to set it up better. He's got to go to the body with some leg kicks. Body with the leg kicks. Body with the leg kicks. And then go to the head kick. He's not setting up anything at all whatsoever. He's throwing out the jab. He's not setting up any of the high kicks. He's just throwing these high kicks kind of blind. There's no body kicks, no punches to the body, kind of setting up these high kicks. He's not body working at all whatsoever. And Petrino's kind of throwing one punch at a time. Another head kick that missed. Petrino is obsessed with this head kick. And he hasn't come close to landing it once all fight. 10 seconds left. Another very pedestrian round in this Pedro-Petrino fight. This is anybody's fight going into the second round. Going into the third and final round. Wow, this fight card, weird. It's playing out just how I thought it was. So far, 3 fights, 3 favorites have won. Monster favorites. So, you're not really making any money if you bet all 3. But that was the way to do it. Just bet favorites. Going 2 fights, do a parlay. Do 3 legs, do a parlay. 4 legs. This way, as these winners are winning, you're still collecting some money, and you're making some juice. We are on commercial break. Going into the third round, Tyson Pedro versus Petrino. It's been a super boring fight so far. I can't tell you how boring it's been because it's been terribly boring. All right, guys, the final round between Tyson Pedro and Petrino. The first 2 rounds were incredibly boring. Petrino is minus 620. Pedro is plus 400. Nice big body kick by Petrino. Ooh, nice stiff jab. Petrino's had a lot of success with the jab in this fight, and that's pretty much the only success he had. And Tyson Pedro's landed some calf kicks. But both these guys, it's been pretty boring so far. Pedro's doing a lot more kicking. Pedro's doing a lot more punching. Ooh, a nice stiff jab. Petrino's got a really nice jab. But he's only throwing 1 punch at a time. He's not putting together combinations. And that's why he's not been able to finish Tyson Pedro. Because he's just punching 1 shot at a time. Boring shot after boring shot. Petrino has him tied up against the fence. Man, this fight has been so boring. 3.5 minutes left in the final round between Tyson Pedro and Vitor Petrino. Man, these last 3 fights have been epically boring. Petrino's got his back for a second. But Pedro's pretty safe right now, the side of his body being up against the cage. And the ref has come in multiple times in this fight trying to get him to work because it's been that boring. Nice pickup slam for Petrino. All right, I think that's going to wrap it up for this fight. It's been epically boring. I don't even know what to say about this fight. That's how boring it's been. This card has been a complete disaster, just like I said it was. Who's hating now, guys? Look how bad this card is. Are you watching these last 3 fights? Because if you want your grandmother to fall asleep, put on these UFC fights because that's going to put your grandma right to sleep. That's how bad the last 3 fights have been. It started out with a bang. Matt Schnell got slept. I told you he was going to lose. Urseg's got a little more power, and Matt Schnell's been terrible his whole career. But this Petrino-Pedro fight has been so boring. I'm having trouble staying awake. Between Umar Nurmagomedov fight and then the last fight, Perez versus Makayev, and then now this Pedro Petrino fight, I feel like I drank 100 cups of chamomile tea. That's how incredibly bored I am with these fights. 2 minutes left in the 3rd round between Petrino and Pedro of one of the most epically boring cards of my lifetime. The ref has had to step in multiple times and be like, hey guys, do you want to fight or are you just going to hold each other and hug? Just under 2 minutes. This fight, so boring. I don't even know what to say. A pickup attempted slam that does absolutely nothing for Petrino. Petrino's going to win this fight by decision, probably 30-27. They're both gassed. They both are putting everyone to sleep. So I'm going to come back for the main event. I'm going to go take a power nap because this fight between Petrino and Pedro has been so bad. What a disappointing co-main event. This is why you don't stick fighters like Tyson Pedro in a co-main event for a UFC card. Because you get a terrible performance. He was never in this fight. He never had a chance in this fight. And Petrino didn't look too good either. He looked sloppy. He's the bigger, stronger guy, so he was able to control him. But he was throwing 1 punch at a time, no combinations, blind leg kicks that had no chance of landing. There's 1 minute left in the Petrino-Pedro fight. That's probably been the worst fight on the main card so far. Nothing has happened. Literally nothing. Petrino's kind of held him around the waist for the last 5 minutes. The ref has tried to step in a couple times, but no dice. No dice. No dice. And we're going to get the last 30 seconds of Petrino on top of Pedro, not doing anything. And that's it. Oh, man. What a disappointing fight. I thought we were going to see some fireworks in this card, but we saw the complete opposite of fireworks in this card, guys. I'm like about to fall asleep. That's how incredibly boring this fight has been. Woo! And the Makayev fight was even more boring. I mean, it looked like Makayev gassed in like the middle of the first round. I mean, it's just, it was a jab fight versus a leg kick fight. Tyson Pedro, Petrino, thank God that fight's over. Thank you for putting me out of my misery by ending that fight. Oh my God. These guys got to be joking. All right, guys. I'm gonna go take a power nap before this Rosenstrike fight because I know I'm gonna come back and we're gonna do a live stream and the fight's gonna be over in the first 2 minutes. Watch, because the last 3 fights have been a complete snooze fest. I hate the Apex.